Shalom. This is Avraham Shira. We're in the forest of Masuot Yitzchak here in Gush Etzion. It's a forest next to a community that was wiped out many years ago in a terrorist attack. And it's a holy place set aside for the people to enjoy nature. So I come up here often, and many people do, to be alone with nature. And you know, we're very social beings, the human race, and we enjoy each other, we need each other, we are inspired by each other. And yet there is a time when we need to be alone, when we need to be separate. And that aloneness, that separateness, actually enables us to be better people when we are with people. Rabbi Nachman taught us to go out in the forest and be alone, to find out what it's like to be alone. What's the secret of all this? Well, we know that the Zohar describes the souls as being in a garden and or a forest, where each soul has its own root in heaven, yet they come down in clusters. And so you see, when we are together, we're many channels of soul power coming together. And that creates a real mass, a little critical mass of spiritual energy when we're in groups. But that's a collective experience where each of our individualities is torem, is given over to the group to create that centralized power. But when we're alone in the forest, in the desert, wherever you can be alone, then it's just you and your soul, your connection to the Creator. And it's a time of clarification, of quiet, of centering, of peacefulness, of gaining that inner peace that helps us transcend all the lack of peace around us. So you see, when we're individual souls, then we can come back together and maintain our individuality even though we're in a group. And that would seem to be the goal, that we don't lose ourselves in the group, and that yet we don't tend to dominate the people when we are in a group, that we mix well. And so you have both experiences, the experience of your own individuality, your own specialness, your own unique channel of the Creator, and you experience the collective, the commune of people that come together, and you receive from them and they receive from you. And we need both experiences. And this paradigm of the individual and the collective is, of course, something we see in sociology and demographics and politics, in races, all kinds of ways. And Judaism tries to straddle the two extremes of the individual and the collective. And really we need both. It just occurred to me out here in the forest, the word forest is Ya'ar, Yud, Ayin, Resh in Hebrew. And the word for city is Ayin, Yud, Resh, Ir. So it's the same root. The forest and the city share the same three-letter root in the holy tongue, the Hebrew language. Now think about that. Isn't that interesting? The city is the place, certainly, of the collective. And the forest is certainly the place of being with yourself, being alone, and enjoying being you. And so we have Ir or Ya'ar, and they're both the same letters, but of course they describe completely, contradistinctive points or places in human reality. If we want to look further, we could say that the word Resh Ayin Yud is Ra'i, my friend. Adonai Ro'i. God is my friend. And God is my shepherd. A Ro'i is a shepherd, but a Re'ah is a friend. Ro'i is a shepherd. So you see that if you want to meet your shepherd, the creator of the universe, you need to go to the Ya'ar. So the letters keep spinning new combinations of understanding. But we notice how the concepts so well fit together when we look at them through the filter of the longing for our creator. So this goes on, you know, we can keep spinning the letters. If you start with ayin, yud resh, ear, ayin means really the eye. And yud is chokhmah, the right brain. And resh, the letter resh, is rosh, the head. So ear is where you have an ayin, the eye. You have the wisdom, and it's in your head. Now, so there you see we put the ayin first. The city is the place where the eye is always attracted by so many things, isn't it? When you go to a city, your eye is just blasted with images. When you come out to the Ya'ar, the forest, we reverse the ayin, the eye, and the re, and the yud, the chokhmah, and it becomes Ya'ar. Then the yud comes first, which is chokhmah. And the ayin, which is, the letter ayin is of course the eye, is only second to the chokhmah. So you see in the forest, in the Ya'ar, we put chokhmah, wisdom, before ayin, before what we see. And you know, there's some beautiful things out here in the forest, right? There's trees, there's grass, there's plants, there's mountains, etc. But there's not all the information overload, the drowning of our senses in the material world of a city. So you see, just in that switch of the letters, we go from putting wisdom first to putting the eye first. Ayin ro'ah velev chomed. King Solomon taught us, right? The eye sees and the heart wants. And really, we try to avoid those situations where the heart is the servant of the eye. But rather, we want this. And you know, it's an interesting thing too. If we go to the Aramaic language, ear in Aramaic, ayin yud resh, the same root. In Aramaic, which is the Targum language, which we've been learning about on Patreon, in Torah Yud Tet, the Targum language translates ear as an angel. Ear min shamayim nachit. The Kaddish, that the holy angel that from heaven came down, of course, that those come, spells out the letters Shimon, the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's written across the entrance to his Tzion in Meron. Okay, so ear is an angel. Now we also have another statement that says, the lev malachim, the heart of the king, b'yad Hashem, is in the hand of God. And so, you know, we can keep following the trail of letters infinitely of associative relationships between these concepts, but they all point us back to our primary relationship with God, which we achieve here in the forest, in the quiet, in the peace, in listening to the wind, and listening to the birds and the little insects, and seeing the new flowers, and appreciating the sunlight as it dances across the grass. And in these moments, we kind of come back to our center, and this is really what we need nowadays with with what's going on in the city. So I want to bless all of you to take that time, take that little moment away wherever you can get to nature, whether it's at the ocean or in the mountain, in the valley, in the forest, in the desert, and just be, enjoy being. Because when you can enjoy yourself and enjoy being as is, not needing anything, not needing praise and not needing money and not needing honor and not needing fame, just needing nothing is the greatest joy. And it accesses to us to the wholeness of being. And therein lies our healing. Now this semester we're going to be teaching Rabbi Nachman on healing on Web Yeshiva, and we're going to continue our letter meditations on Lighthouse Torah, and of course we'll be on Patreon with our daily Rabbi Nachman class as we work our way through this monumental Sefer Likutei Moharan, which we've been at it now over 2 years, and we've got some more work to do. And after that, we'll still have more work to do, because of course we have Likutei Halachot, and we have the Zohar HaKadosh. And you know, when we learn day by day, it anchors us. It gives me a place to come to be with all of you, and to also be with the great rabbis that authored these books, which they basically are the rabbi's mind on paper. Because the rabbi's mind is pure Torah. And this is where we're going, this is where we came from. So you may be blessed in the city, and blessed in the forest, and blessed in your wisdom, and blessed in your eye, to look at the world with the good eye. And that it all should make a healthy head to work along with a healthy heart. We'll see you again. All the best. Kol Tuv.